Good morning, Lisa Novak.
Good morning. That's good.
How are
Sorry,
you?
I'm having a laugh at that intro. Yeah, I'm good. A little bit
It's
tired this morning.
it's
Monday
full
night
on for
late.
7:45.
What's that?
It's full on for 7:45.
Yeah, it's fun though. It's fun.
It's
It's
fun.
upbeat. Yes.
It is. So this morning, guys and girls, we're talking about granny flats. They're a big thing in the last couple of years. There's been some bit of changes out there lately on them, but particularly in times with COVID and stuff like that, cash flow, people sometimes even moving into the granny flats and renting the house out. Lise, what do you think about granny flats and how can people use them to get ahead?
Yeah, it's funny because on the Northern Beaches, Mark, where we're based, we actually see them a lot. If you push out to other areas like maybe the eastern suburbs, they're still a little bit taboo. It's funny, isn't it? The granny flat means something different. I'm suggesting if you live in the eastern suburbs, it might be your pool cabana or something like that. But Northern Beaches, certainly on the Northern Beaches, it's been a real money generator. We've done one ourselves, haven't we? We've got an investment property on the Northern Beaches and we popped a granny flat on the back of that. It was honestly the easiest build in the world and it generates a really great income. So I'm a massive advocate for them.
They're big. So to build a granny flat, guys and girls, these days in probably most parts of Sydney, it's about 150 to 200,000 to build one. We've got a hack we're going to share with you in a sec to make it even better floor plan, but 150, 200 grand, you're whacking it on land that's generally maybe not being utilised. And then what we're doing is putting a tenant in there or family, friends, but generally putting a tenant in there. Now, here's the kicker. They rent in the Northern Beaches, for instance, they rent for about 600 to 700 a week, and they cost you 150 to 200K. Now, if you've got interest rates sitting at 2.5%, your interest rate on 200 grand is about 4 or 5 grand. It is going to be maybe 4, 5, 6, say 6 grand your interest a year, but the thing's going to be rented for 25. 35 grand a year.
Yeah.
That's a huge positive return on your money. Now, if your wife's out of work because she's having a baby, maternity leave, whatever, that's really good cash flow. Actually, if you do your maths, I reckon at least you'd find that it's going to be paying a mortgage off of about $1 million.
It's unbelievable. And, a lot of people don't realise that their backyard's a gold mine. We see blocks on the Northern Beaches usually on average sit at about 600 metres squared. What a lot of people don't realise is you only need a minimum lot size of 450 metres squared to get one of these granny flats, a 60 metre squared granny flat approved.
Okay, that's a great number. Can you say that one again?
Yeah. So you need a minimum lot size of 450 metres squared.
That's all. That's including the house. That's including the house where you're on. So
Correct.
If you've got a total block size of 450, you got your 3, 4, 5 bedroom house on part of the 450.
Yep.
Council says that
you can put one of these granny flats on. Mark, can I also say it's a really bad word for a really lovely property?
Yeah.
Because we need to rename it. Last night on our Novak News, we were talking about renaming the whole off market. We need to rename the granny flat because it's not. It's actually a luxury villa is what it is. These things are phenomenal. Our one that we built that we rent out for about $700 a week is a 2-bed, 1 bath, separate toilet, great open plan lounge dining area. It's got like an enclosed study. It's got a deck off the front. It's got a beautiful garden. I think, they're getting about 300 metres squared in total. And it honestly feels like your own mini house. I think when people think granny flat, they think like a little rickety shed out the back of your property, but it's definitely not. You know what else? Can I just say,
Yeah,
you know what
sorry.
else is interesting these days? I had a conversation this morning with Michael Bergio, poor guy from his hospital bed. We wish him well, by the way.
Yeah.
But I had a conversation with Burge this morning, and he was saying, oh, there's a property that we're selling at the moment. He said, I think we should call it a 6-bedroom house. And I said, you know what, Burge? People don't want big houses anymore. They want little ones.
They want it easy.
They want easy. They want the convenience. So these things are super, super convenient, right?
Yep.
They really are. But yeah, Peter's saying, good morning, Peter. I hope you're well. Peter's saying great investment, great return. It really is. And, even if you're not looking at it from an investment perspective, these days families are getting together. I mean, we see it all the time. Again, on the Northern Beaches, lots of dual ops. But, families are getting together and they're living together. The oldies are getting together with the young ones. They're buying something bigger and they're living together. And this way you can coexist together harmoniously because everyone's got their own houses.
Hey, what about the great hack on granny flats?
Tell me.
So guys and girls, I've got to share this with you.
Yes.
A granny flat can be 60 metres squared. 60 metres squared. We've seen some clients do this lately very effectively and very cleverly, where what they've actually done is, yes, you're allowed to do a internal space of 60 metres squared on a granny flat, but they've actually put 2 balconies, one balcony on the front, one balcony on the back. They're allowed to do, in these circumstances that I saw, 8 metre squared balconies. So picture this. Balcony on the back in the back corner, other front right corner, balcony at the front, and the roofs go over those balconies, right? So now you've got a balcony of 8 metres squared and you've got a roof over the balcony. Get this, you're allowed to build a balustrade on your balcony as high as, I think it was 1.5.
Yeah.
So,
I thought 1.8, but yeah, let's say 1.5.
Okay, it's 1.5, 1.8, right?
Yeah.
So people are actually building the balcony, building the roof that continues from the house over the balcony. They're building a wall around 2 sides with no doors out to the garden. They got a door, and what they're actually doing is once it all goes through compliance and gets approved, clients are just glassing the balcony in. What do we got?
A study.
An 8 metre square study, which is pretty much almost 3 metres by 3 metres.
Which
that makes a 2-bedroom and a study, guest room, balcony, technically, sunroom, technically. That's a pretty spectacular floor plan, and that's where you can probably extract an extra $50 to $60 a week. So Anmal, who mentioned about the great returns, that's part of the reason our clients are getting such great returns, because they're getting that squeezing that extra little bit out of that granny flat by that hack.
100%. And you know what else, Mark? Where can you buy a house these days for $150,000? A brand new 2-bed plus study house for $150,000. And guys, I've got to say, as you know, we built one off the back of a house.
We've done it.
We've done it, and we went up and saw the thing being built twice. There was I actually said to the company that was building it, I said to them, you know what, guys, don't show me anything fancy because likely I'll choose it. Just show me exactly what's included here. We tiled all the floors. We had beautiful marble lookalike tiles in the bathrooms. I mean, everything is very, very ultra modern. And, we still fit everything that we needed in there. There was an area in the bathroom for washing machine and dryer. The kitchen still got the full dishwasher and the breakfast bar. I mean, it actually feels exactly like a house. It's just a slightly miniature version. But yeah, I was pretty surprised at how much you could get into a 60 metre square property.
Yeah, that's right. A family of 4. If built correctly. But another thing as well, how easy was it to get approved?
Oh, it was unbelievably easy. And the reason is council love it because it takes away a housing issue for council. So they're all for approving it. And that's why if you've got that minimum lot size of 450 metres squared, which is not massive, council will give the big
But
ticket
that's the minimum
approval.
lot size
It's
for both houses. I've got to stress that. That's for granny
yeah,
flat and house 450.
sorry, correct.
Oh,
That's right. You know what
yeah.
else, Mark? I mean, my mum built one because we built one, and she was like, "That's genius. I want to do the same," because obviously we
Yeah.
get the two incomes, out of that one lot. And then my mum was like, "You know what? I want to do the same." Now she actually does have just over 450 metres squared on her investment property. There's a 2-bedroom house on one half of it, and then there's the 2-bedroom granny flat, which actually ended up being bigger than the house itself. And I don't know if you remember, Mark, when we went to have a look at it, we were like, "Oh, I can't believe that you can get all of this onto that lot size," but you
Yeah.
can. And if it's an investment, it's a little gold mine.
And to get it approved, guys and girls, it doesn't actually go through your local council if it's complying. You can get a private certifier to get it to approve it. A private certifier writes to the neighbours, and I believe in 7 days it's done, or 14 days it's done. So that means that from the concept of you saying today, I want to build a granny flat, literally within 14 days, that granny flat can be starting getting built. Our granny flat that we built took 12 weeks to build. So that's pretty clever. Now, just one other thing on that, there's actually starting to be some pretty cool pre-packed houses that are becoming onto the market now. They're a bit like a dishwasher, plug and play.
Yeah.
So what you do is they literally come in and drop the complying house in its place, hook up the plumbing, electricity, and off you go. Now, the good thing about doing that is you can move it later. The good thing that, if the time comes that you want to build a larger house where you are, whatever, you can actually sell that portable home for similar money to what you bought it for, because some farmer wants it on his block of land, and then off you go again. You're not going to rent it as much because they're not as sexy, but you're still going to get very solid rent, and it's resaleable. Another one.
It's just genius. And the other thing is, I mean, again, we see a lot of this style of housing on the northern beaches. People live very harmoniously. It's rare that we hear, "Oh, that person couldn't live with that person." People seem to live very, very harmoniously. I think, they enjoy it. So it's, if you look at it, Mark, the granny flat, if it's renting out for sort of $650, $700 a week, I'd rather be living in a granny flat with a backyard. Again, it's just a yucky word. One of these two-bedroom villas with my own backyard, than living in an apartment, because that's the alternative at that kind of money, right?
So they're generally, Amal's got a really good question. They're generally single story, these granny flats as well, when they're built. And one other thing I just want to mention before we sign out at 8 o'clock is, guys, if you are a premium home and you don't want to ruin your block of land, I would suggest you build your pool, and right next to your pool, you build your cabana. So your cabana is a 2-bedroom granny flat.
Yeah.
Your cabana, as the kids get older, that you remove the tenant and it becomes a cabana, or then you build your pool next to the granny flat. So if you're positioning your granny flat on a premium property, another great hack is build it in preparation or in conjunction with a pool in there or going in there, and then you can basically later on you can remove the bedroom wall and create one big room, and it's a great rumpus room, kitchen, bathroom off your pool. Great idea.
Great space to run away from the kids too.
It's a great space.
It's the timeout room for the parents. But yeah, I agree, Mark. You can, you don't have to buy the sort of prefabbed. They're almost like little mini project homes. You know how like you can go to Masterton Homes and choose the house that you want, but then you can also build your own bespoke one. You've got that option as well with your granny flat. So a lot of them are all prefabbed, and it's like you choose option A, B, C, or D. But you don't have to. You can actually build your own so that it sticks in the theme of your property. If it's a Mediterranean theme or whatever it may be, or call it a pool house. Yeah, exactly, Admiral, exactly. So guys, hopefully that's helped you out a little bit. Again, we see lots and lots of them. I think it would be wise, Mark, to put a link in here for a granny flat company. I know there's a few really good ones, particularly on the northern beaches. As I said, that's kind of where we see a lot of them. So it wouldn't be a bad idea to pop a link in here.
Awesome. Lise, thank you so much. Everyone for watching,
pleasure.
thank you so much. I hope this segment's helped everyone out there.
See you guys.
Like
Have a
us,
great
share us
day.
if it has. See ya.
See ya. Bye.